a couple things you said there. Obviously, I really liked the staff was better off after the sale than they were prior to the sale
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
a for the most part. And
And they had all the anxiety, they'd heard all the rumors of, the big corporate groups and who did what and how they're going to work and all the anxiety. But I've heard of some guys that they didn't even tell the practice employees what was going to happen until the buyers group walked in on the day of the closing, and I
yeah,
was up front with everybody knew how much trouble we were having getting health care and buying power. And I said, look, we're going to start looking into some other management options. And we approached it, and it still is, since I'm still part owner, as a management
mhm,
decision. We need somebody to help manage this, and I give them my little percentage every month or every quarter, and they take care of everything.
yes,
So the staff I think, was as on board as you could have expected them to be, other than the anxiety and the, frustration of not knowing and all the horror stories that are out there.
yeah. So your deal structure was what? Was it more of a joint venture then, or was it
Correct.
did
Yeah.
they okay? So
Ours was.
you're still getting to, if the practice is profitable, you still get distributions then as you would as a partial owner.
Correct.
They just own a majority of the organization at that point. And
Correct.
then you have, I'm assuming, an option at some point in time for them to buy out the rest of your shares,
Correct. So
if you
mine
would want
was,
to.
I could have them pay me the rest of it now, 3 years
Mm,
later, which was last month,
Yep.
or we could space it out however we mutually agree. They have the option, and at 5 years, they can force me out and buy me out if they want to. But again, we've got mutually agreeable options between now and then. So
Yeah. And then that buyout, would that be just contingent upon the same multiple that you sold it to them, or would that be whatever
no,
multiples are at that point?
we had goals. If our current earnings were at a certain percentage above when we sold,
Hmm.
then my multiple would be higher. And we've far
Okay.
exceeded those. And it looks like we're going to continue to do that. That's why I'm holding on to stuff.
Yeah. Excellent. That's cool that you had the option to do that. I think the joint ventures seem to be a bit more of a successful action for a lot of people. Just because, especially for people that are willing to stay on, which is, like you are, because, you can still drive the boat, so to speak, and, and still be able to get a payoff at some point in time whenever that second bite of the apple does happen.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. So we're
I like
taking
that.
some of that second bite now, and then we're saving the other to later. And I have the option. It's up to me when that happens. You know,
Yes. That's great. What can I say? Ask what the percentage split was? Was it 80-20? Was it
so I think
70-30?
initially I had 25 or 27% I kept, and then
Okay.
I gifted a couple to my son.
Yeah.
Uh, and then of what my remaining is now, I'm going to take half of that and keep the other half in.
Which is great because, a lot of people don't really think that there's a lot of options that you do have as far as rewarding, just like that. You can gift things to your son. You could have probably done that with certain staff. There's a lot of things you can do to reward your best people, on a sale like that.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of different options that you can do.